already started series. If you've not watched video 1, please go watch video 1 on how to build your first Android application. Now, on this video, I'll be walking us through a couple of recipes that I have on my book that is on chapter 2, and that is just basically building a couple of UI components. And we'll be building buttons and also drawing a circle components, and also just building a couple of edit text, and also just a couple of different things that we can look into and see how those are done in the now modern Android world. And to get started, I would like for us to just I think we're going to use the already created project that we have, which is the one that I'm already showcasing, which is the one I created before Android Community, because I don't think I have to recreate all this project again, because we've already seen how you can create your project. But it's okay if I just call this particular project just Android Community, just to showcase, hey, it's a community and we're learning together. So let me see. So in my Compose Basic, what I'm going to do is, which is the topic of my, create a new folder. I like to view my Android in this way when I have many modules, but because we just have only one module, I think it's okay to view the Android, so that at least you can minimize this so that you're not confused if it's your first time building. Now, to create a package, this is how we do it. You come here, you create a package, and here we're going to call this package components, because this is where we want to save all our components. Now, inside this package, we're going to create a composable file and a Kotlin file, and here we're going to call this UI component. I'm just going to use UI components. Now, that's created as a class, but because we want to compose, we can just remove that, and then we can define add composable, and then we can create all the composable components that we want. So we're going to create the edit text, as I mentioned. We can create a couple of buttons, not outlined edit text. We're also going to create maybe a button with an icon. So let's see how we can do that. So we're going to write composable here. That's all you need to do. Make sure it's important, so you import that. And I think just to make the videos faster, that I feel like the length that I'm very comfortable with should be around 18 to 25 minutes. I feel like past 25 minutes, people zone out. I mean, myself, I zone out too. So I'm going to try to be making them just small. If we have to continue something, we can continue that later. And here, as you can see, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do a lot of coding in this, just showcasing how we create these particular components. By coding, I mean by passing the right values or what's needed. For instance, when you create an outlined text, which I think we're going to see in a few minutes here, outlined, not a button, we need the text field. You'll see it needs a value, and then it listens to the on value chain. So for now, we're just not going to pass anything, but we will definitely do this in detail on the other videos, because here we're just showcasing an example. Now, this outline text can take more things, for instance. So one of the things I like to mention is that if you want to customize or build your own reusable components, you can always pass in things here and then pass it over here. And then once you call the edit text example, you're able to just pass on top level. But here is how you so I pressed command and then my mouse, and then it took me to outlined text field here, and you can see this is all the things that the outlined text field takes, and that is on value, that is the value, and then the on value chain, it takes a modifier, which is a decorated. It checks if it enables, it only shows read only. It has all these things that you can always listen to, which I find it to be pretty cool. So you can make yours as you want. So here I'm just gonna say, let me add a label, because I want it to have a label. So what I mean by label is that when somebody comes and checks this particular outline text, it will have a label that will say, let's define that. So we need that, and then we can say string resource. Here we just pass in a string dot string. So let's create that sample edit text. So here we need to make sure we import that. Did we import? There we go. It's a composable, and then here we need to import our R class, and then here we need to create this. So I just hover around and then I create that. So here I'm just going to say sample edit text, and that's it. And then we can still continue to build more on this. So for instance, we can say, I want our outline text to actually have a modifier. So there's many ways of actually doing Android. That's why I'm always like, if a peer request has like a lot of feedback, and each and every company is different, so you might get feedback on, oh, maybe this is not the right way to do it. I always strongly say, hey, unless you show me the documentation, I feel like there's so many ways to achieve things in Android. So unless people are just very picky, you can code in different ways. So here, as you can see, I'm going to fill the max width of this particular outline text. And what I'm saying is that if you're a visual learner, just from this side of the screen, fill that particular width. Unless I say in my column, my top level column, I tell it, hey, actually on the tab level, I want the edges to be 12 and 12, that is start and end 12. It will fill the entire width. And then let's say I can add a padding, and this is, let's say I'm just adding this for demonstration purposes. I can say maybe top, I need this to have, let's say, a 16.dp. That's to mean on the top of this particular outline text, please have a padding of 16. Now you can define other types of padding. For instance, you can say end, you can say bottom, or you can say start. Now you can also add colors to your outlined text, which is it's not like it's very, very needed, but it's not that bad to have color. And that's just our outlined text. And now if we want to create, let's say, a not outlined, so what we're going to do, we're just again going to create something similar, but now instead of using an outline text field, we're just going to call a text field by itself. So I'm just going to paste that there because that's already done. I done this before, so we've not changed anything. We're just showcasing a sample. So here I'm just going to call let's just do sample. Now let's look at how actually you create buttons. And I think these are not very hard things to do, for instance, because I know it might look like it's pretty tough, but after playing around with Compose, you'll see how Compose is pretty easy to catch on, because you just build upon this foundation of already written components for you. So let's go ahead and create a button. And what we're going to do is that we're going to create, let's say, a button with an icon. How would you create this in Compose, right? So how you create a button with an icon in Compose? First of all, you need to call the button, and not the button with the icon, but the button itself. And I'm just going to I think it's best to get the button, yes, like this. That's better, because now then it gives you everything that needs to come with it. As you can see here, when you click this button, please do this, and then when you have to give that particular button a description. So what we're going to do is that we're going to give it an icon, and this icon is going to be, let's say, icon. As you can see, an icon takes a painter, which is what are we going to be painted here. And I think I'm going to see if I can get a painter resource that in the system. Let me see. I know there's a way I can get let's see, what did I want? Shopping. Do they have a shop? Nope, they don't have a shopping. What do they have? I see call notification. And these are just my launches. Okay, I think you can add icons also here easily. I wanted to showcase this. I'm just also muting my phone because I don't want it to beep all the time. But this is how you can get an icon. So you can also get an icon through just going to the vector asset and then come in here and picking an icon from here. So let's say I want an icon like a shopping bag. I can just call it shopping and it's already there. So here I'll go to drawboard.shopping. And then it's always good to have a content description. So this one you can do string resource again, r.string. Let's say shopping bag. And then you're just gonna create that shopping bag. And it's created. And then you can do any types of things you want to do with the icon too. You can add a modifier. Let's say if you wanted to have a pattern of, let's say, anything, or a size. Let me see, and I want this to be 2020.dp. There we go. And then it's always good to format your code. I've just formatted that. Now, we also need to ensure that this particular button, has a text, and the text can just be, let's say, but with icon or shop. So let's go ahead and create that particular text. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to pass in a string resource, string dot, let's say, shop, not shopping bag. And then here we're just going to create shop. Nowadays, it's very smart. When I do the enter, it actually creates a next line, but it just should be shop. So we need to go fix that. Oh, it did not. Okay, thought it did, but it did on my other ones. And I was like, oh, what's happening? Let me go back here. So this particular button with icon, it's just going to have an icon and then a text and all that cool stuff. Now we can also create a button with corner shape, a button with rounded shape. So what you just do, let's say for instance, if this is the button that we wanted, what we can do is just add another thing here that's called shape, and then we say rounded corners, and then we give it the size, let's say, of 10.dp, and this button will have a rounded shape of that. You can also do a cut corner shape. You can do as many things that you want, and this is where you can get all that stuff. I mean, not get, but learn. Here's where you can learn what the button takes and what you can do to the button. And that's why I think, to me, Compose is very revolutionary and pretty good. Now, you can also make your button elevated. That means that it has like an elevation, and that's pretty easily. You just also come here and say elevation, and then you define your elevation. Let's say I need like a button default, and then I can say the elevation. As you can see here, this one takes button elevation, and then inside, I think there is when I would say default elevation. Let me give that a 10, and then I can see when it's pressed elevation, I can say 15.dp, and then the disabled elevation, that will be 0 because it's disabled, right? So we don't need to elevate that more. So again, as I said, there's so many things you can do to the button, and that's what makes Compose pretty amazing. Now, how do we visualize all this? Remember in the first project when I created a preview annotation, where we created the project and then we had the @preview annotation? That's what we can do. We can just do it preview, and then here we can say show background equals true, because we need to view this, and then we can do @composable, and then here we can do find UI element preview, and then I feel like these days I know I've been doing coding for a while, and it gets better with time where you don't have to look at your keyboard, but sometimes when it's bright, the sun is out and my eyes, I don't want to close my window curtains because I'll be like, oh no, it's darker. But anyway, that's it. So here I can put a modifier. I don't have to run this on the main activity because you can easily visualize your code easily on the preview annotation. And you can always remove this once you're done if it's not needed that you do that. So here I'm just going to do a modifier dot fill max size, because I want to fill the size, and then that means it's just going to be an entire phone. And then I can say fill max width if I want to, and then I can say padding set, what I was talking about. You can say let it start from 12.dp and end at 12.dp. And then finally what I'm just doing is that I'm taking all my created elements, this one, put them there. And now you notice they're no longer like that grayed out color. They're now like in a beautiful color, because, oh, nope, not that. And then I take this here and put it down here. And then now I can easily just run this one from here. And that should start building. Where my apertures, what you'll get. So you can see here we have a sample edit text. We have this one here, which is, so this one here, the first one is outlined, as you can see here. And this one here is not outlined. And this is our button that has corner rounded shape, and then it has that icon shop, and then you can just click on shop, and then you can add as many as you want to. Now if we want to move this from, let's say here, we can easily just come and replace it here, and they should be able to just work. And now what we'll be doing here, instead of running on a preview, we can run this on an app. And the reason as to why I wanted to run it on a preview, it's because sometimes it may take longer to build the app when I'm recording. I don't know why that happens, but that might take longer. But let's see how long this one takes. Hopefully it's not very long. And that's how it will look like. As you can see here, that is a sample edit text. As you can see, that's an outlined edit text. So when you enter this here, it pushes up that, it pushes up this label, and then this is the one that's not outlined. So what we mean by outline is that this one has that particular box shaped, and this one doesn't have that. And then this is a button, and as you can see, it looks like a pretty cool button that has an icon that just says, you know. And you can do more to this icon too. If you want to move it to start, if you want to add some padding to the icon, you can do as many things as you want. And if you want to add more things to this particular code, I'm gonna give you an assignment, which is to add an image. By an image I just made called the composable image. Let me show you, for instance, what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna add this one here, image. Just check out what the image takes, but don't add it inside the button, because I mean, we don't want to add it there. You can just create, let me do this here pretty quickly at composable. Always make sure you annotate that. Font image view example, and then here you do that, and then you call your image. I think it's a bit slow because it's rendering, because I need to restart my laptop. And then here you can add all the necessary needed things. Image. You can easily, let's say you want to put a painter here, so you'll see a painter resource r.drawable. Let's say the shopping icon, and then don't forget to put the description, and then I'm just going to use the shop. And then you can do so many things to this particular, I don't want to do that. And you can do as many things as you want for this. And yeah, this is how you would create an image, and also you can do more. So I'm going to, in the next video, we're going to draw a circle, and then we're going to create our card, and then populate some data on the card, some dummy data on the card, and do more. And thank you very much. See you on the next video.